Good morning, guys. Welcome in. 10K to $2 million funding challenge here on Thursday, October 26th, 7 a.m. New York time. And I got to tell you, I feel like crap right now. After the stream yesterday, I started not feeling great. Started getting the tickle in the back of the throat, drainage, coughing, started sneezing a lot, headache came on by the end of the day. And then by the time I went to bed last night, I was like, man, I don't feel good. And then I woke up this morning and I feel like trash right now. I do not feel good. So this is going to be a pretty short stream today. I do apologize for that, but sometimes life just kicks you in the teeth, and you got to just kind of deal with it and move on. And so I'm probably gonna I'm just gonna do some analysis here, tell you what I'm looking for, what I'm thinking, where we're at going into Friday, and then I'm probably gonna go back to bed. So anyway, hope you guys are having a good day wherever you are. Hope you're feeling a lot better than I am, because it's not fun when you're sick. Just everything just feels off, But glad you guys are here. Glad you guys are back in. We've had quite a weekly expansion already. I don't know why I'm on Bitcoin. Here we go as we close out the month of October. Let's just jump up to the monthly chart here on Pound. GU. We have just a few more days of trading. I do think we're still headed down into this imbalance again. We've already tested it for a few months prior. And I think that's where our higher time frame draw on liquidity is. Weekly has been very bearish. After last week's small kind of short inside candle, not true inside, but it was just a very neutral, directionless candle, kind of open, bounced around. This week we ran that liquidity, and we've just been falling off a cliff to the sell side here. And I do think that we are headed down for this prior week low. I don't know if we get there this week. We could, or if that's going to be into next week as we finish out the month of October. Daily time frame, we have now created a daily breaker block here, wherein we last down closed candle ran buy side liquidity, and we've displaced through, leaving behind a fair value gap, which we'll look for potentially as a high of the week next week. Any run back up into that. We have cleared out sell side. Again, we still have sell side targets to go. So I'm still going to remain bearish here on pound dollar. The last leg down, we've just come back up. We didn't get into any of these 4-hour fair value gaps. We did tap right into this 1-hour order block overnight into London. I was wanting to see it. I had a limit order set. It's canceled. I had a limit order set up in here off of this breaker into some of the fair value gaps in here. But we didn't get that pop up in London. We've just been consolidating all of London. We do have news coming out at 8:30 this morning for GDP growth rate and the durable goods orders. So I would not be looking to get into anything until after that news hits at the very earliest. Oh, my throat feels like I have been swallowing shards of glass all night. Ooh, God, that hurts. All right. So if news pops up and grabs buy side liquidity, I would look for displacement to the sell side. We have had such a big move. If we get any more downside today, it wouldn't surprise me if Friday is a little bit of a TGIF, since we've had such an aggressive run to the sell side on Wednesday and Thursday. So we'll see how today plays out, see how the candle closes out. Euro dollar, much the same analysis and vibe. We have taken out buy side liquidity here, and we're displacing lower. This is your monthly fair value gap. sell side or buy side imbalance that I think price is going to want to reach down into. It has taken out sell side liquidity here. Still relatively neutral overall on the monthly time frame, hovering right around the open. We've put in a low, put in a high, and we still have a few more days for this candle to expand before this monthly October candle closes out. Be interested to see whether it can close out below this, below September's low. If it can't, then I would anticipate just a tap into the fair value gap and then maybe a retracement. If it can close below here by next Tuesday, then you could probably be looking for a little bit of a further expansion to the downside into a deeper run into this fair value gap here on the monthly. Weekly, you can see we've taken out buy side. We reached right back up into this breaker block right here on this weekly breaker. You look to the left, we broke through it, created a fair value gap right in here, tapped it once, twice, 3 times, and now we're falling away. A close below this candle today would represent another breaker block on the daily time frame, wherein if you do get a closure below here today, it would set up a chance to run up into Friday and then come back down even lower. But you can see we've got nice trend line, retail trend line here for that people would be trading as support and resistance. All of these lows, I think, are going to get liquidated before you see any further. You see this run into liquidity, wham, and then immediate reversal off of it. So you just stay short until all of the higher time frame liquidity levels have been tapped into. This was a beautiful sell here off of this order block. Like I said, next week, if this this could be setting up a nice high of the week area for next week as well. Currently, we're just kind of been in consolidation throughout the London session here. Probably waiting for this GDP news to hit. If you get GDP news and you take out any buy side, you would look for displacement lower. It could just run lower. You've already taken out some buy side. You do have, yes, that is a nice breaker. There is a nice fair value gap. I would not be taking anything right now until Euro has the interest rate decision coming up in an hour. And then you've got GDP news coming up after that. So Euro dollar off the table until after all this news clears. Pound dollar off the table until the news clears. DXY, we've tapped into our first daily draw on liquidity. I still think we're going to run up here and ultimately to 108. If you look at the weekly time frame, I think this is the target we're going to liquidate before you get any further reprieve on dollar weakness. It's about 50% of this sell side imbalance right here. That's my aim, which also lines up with this old weekly high. So that's where I'm continuing to stay bullish on the dollar, and any pullbacks I would be looking to buy the dollar. Consolidation through London. We will wait to see how the GDP news plays out here. My preference is to see today's candle close above this high. But who knows what actually is going to happen. It's kind of a wait and see day for me. Plus, I'm not feeling great. I don't know how much time I'm going to actually spend on the charts today. When you're feeling crappy, when you're not feeling 100% physically, mentally, it's probably not the best place to put yourself when you get onto the charts. So I'll just see how I feel as the day goes. If I start feeling better, maybe I'll be watching the news from the couch on my phone, or just take my laptop in there or something. But not feeling great. Crazy spike on yen pairs today. Just an absolutely crazy spike here. This is, who even knows what this is? It's the Bank of Japan still trying to strengthen their currency. They keep making attempts like this They just keep randomly, and they don't tell you when it is or when it's going to happen, but just like within 60 seconds you get these massive spikes, and people are getting liquidated left and right. So the yen cannot stay. Well, I guess it could. I mean, no one can say that. The yen is not going to stay this weak for that much longer, I don't think. You have this old high up here. I don't know if this is an all-time high, but it's certainly since 2000. You have this all-time high from October 2022, last year. It does appear that wants to get tapped into. Maybe it's after that, and then you get more intervention, and it starts heading lower. We'll see. Just keep an eye on that. I'm not too keen on trading yen pairs right now. They've been super messy, and then you get this stuff. Sorry. Indices showing a lot of weakness here. Showing a lot of weakness. We've pulled back into this fair value gap, tapped right into it, took out buy side, and now we're heading lower. This has been a big move up all year long, and now here in the fourth quarter, you're seeing a pullback. You've seen a break of structure here. If this weekly candle closes below this level, I definitely think you're going to see these fair value gaps and imbalances get targeted with sell side liquidity. On the daily time frame, I mean, you can just see we take out buy side, we displace, we come back up, rebalance. We're now displacing lower. We had a close below a body candle closed yesterday below all these lows, which definitely signals price wants to head lower. I'm sorry, guys. Price wants to head lower here. So all of these imbalances are going to be internal liquidity that it's going to want to tap into. We'll see as they get violated, any of these order blocks or fair value gaps that get traded through and reclaimed, you can use as entry points, potential entry points to continue to head lower here. But this is a nice daily breaker block right here. You could use either this one or this one. It doesn't really matter which one. Down close candle, runs buy side liquidity, displaces through, fair value gap currently nested right up inside of here. So again, this sets up a nice play for NAS next week as we close out October and head into the first week of November. You could be looking at, depending on how this week closes out, we still have today and tomorrow, of course, but this could be setting up a nice high of the week in NAS right inside this area. So just keep an eye on that, and we'll see how the rest of today and tomorrow plays out. You could use this as a 4-hour breaker right here. Inside of here, on a smaller time frame, we've run buy side liquidity, we've displaced through. There's a nice fair value gap to target just above this volume imbalance. Any spike up into that is, I would look as a sell, as a Judas swing, and then to head lower here. Aussie dollar, interestingly enough, has been moving a lot more, and I think it's going to take out those lows there. It actually has tapped into them just briefly, and it's pulled back up. I don't think we're done grabbing this liquidity and this liquidity. It's actually right down here. So technically, I guess it did wick it, but just barely. That is not a run of liquidity. That right there is not a run of liquidity off of that old low, that monthly low. Touching it is not a run of liquidity. Just getting a 2 pips above or below it is not a run. You want to see a clearer run here. Now, it did take out a lot of this relative equal lows, and it's pulled back up, but right into this 4-hour breaker right here, right inside this fair value gap, and now we're seeing price react lower here. So it could make here on Aussie dollar, it could make a little bit of a deeper run back up, and if you wanted to wait for it to get into a premium, there's breaker blocks here as well that you could be looking for. potentially off of this reclaimed imbalance here. Price came back to this fair value gap and sent it up, and once it broke through, it hasn't come back up and rebalanced this fair value gap in line with this fair value gap. So price could want to come back up into here or into a premium into this breaker block itself, and then want to head lower, and that's fine if it wants to do that. We'll just watch and wait, but definitely with a bullish dollar, any move up into Aussie, I would be looking for liquidity grabs and displacement on lower time frames to potentially enter. It's actually a nice little setup here right now on Aussie dollar. We've run buy side liquidity. We've displaced lower here after tapping into that. But with the news coming out, there's no play. So even though you see this setup here, you see this down close, run a buy side, immediate displacement away after tapping into a higher time frame fair value gap, lower time frame liquidity levels, you see displacement away. This is not an entry. You're not going to trade this an hour before this news comes out. This is not it's not a valid setup. Wait for the news to come out. It may want to spike up again into reclaim some of these fair value gaps, reclaim buy side. Anybody that's been short from here and they see this pullback, and now that they see this break of structure, they're moving their stops. So there's still liquidity resting above here. This is not a run of liquidity. Just because it touches that does not make it a run of liquidity. So this is why I'm saying I think you're going to see a deeper dig underneath these lows. I don't know if it's today. Today may be news that spikes up and gives you some dollar weakness, and then Friday you get a continued move down. Or today you get the move down into a deeper dig, and then Friday you get a little bit of a reprieve. So see how that plays out. We will see how that plays out. All right, so really not a whole lot to do here until the news comes out in an hour. Again, euro dollar has the financing rate coming out. They're not anticipating any change in the interest rate decision for the Euro Central Bank. GDP, they're expecting it to be quite aggressive. GDP growth rate quarter over quarter, it was at 2.1. They're anticipating a 4.3, double what it was the quarter before. That's crazy. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. I don't know how that number hits. I don't see how that number actually hits. If it does, that's crazy to me. Quarter over quarter, it doubles on the GDP. That's, man, quite a forecast. So we'll see what kind of volatility comes in once that news hits on all those pairs. Jump into the chat real quick. We can talk and chat a little bit. Partha G, Aditya B, welcome in, man. Good to see you, man. Doing well in life, not doing well today. I feel like crap today. I am not feeling good, but I'm glad you're here. Welcome back into the stream, into the chat. Alpha Bridge, what's going on? George Tucker, good morning, good afternoon, George. Hope you're having a good day. Beeswax, what's going on? Red Ezekiel. John, let me know if there's anything I can do to help. Thank you, sir. You know what I need to do is I need to let the chat take over the stream one day. Like when I can't be here or if I'm sick, I just need to be like, hey, John and Cisco are running the stream today, or Owen or somebody, or because I appreciate that, John. I really do. Not much you can do, man. It is what it is. I just feel like poop. And my throat is on fire. My head's pounding. It feels flu-ish to me. I've had COVID multiple times. It doesn't feel like COVID. This feels more like flu. Flu to me is actually worse than COVID. That's just my opinion. I'm not here to make a political statement. I'm just telling you. I've had COVID multiple times. The flu is worse than COVID. And this feels like flu to me. So my wife also started feeling bad yesterday, so we're going to be sick together today, sitting on the couch, probably just watching Netflix or taking naps and making sure that we just eat our chicken soup and take our medicine. And but that's what's what. Onsab, good afternoon. Let the chat trade. That would be fun. Yeah, I actually thought about doing a chat challenge. I think that would be fun, man. Buying a 10K. Bespoke would probably certainly let me do it. And just let the chat determine. We'll just do a public chat challenge where the chat will vote and do the trade, do the account. Basically like a publicly traded hedge fund. We'll just do a publicly traded challenge, and we'll let the chat determine every trade we take. I think that would be incredibly interesting. John says, like when Johnny Carson had Joan Rivers as his substitute host. I think you would be a better Joan Rivers, John. You would be the truer and better Joan Rivers. Joan was awesome, John. I don't think there's anything to be. Joan, there's one of a kind, man. Joan Rivers was one of a kind. She was not perfect by any stretch, but there's only one Joan. There's only one Joan Rivers. There's only one John Jones. How many John Jones are there in the world? There's got to be a lot of John Jones in the world, I would think. Good grief, man. Well, that was a bad one. She was truly a female pioneer as a female stand-up comedian. Absolutely, man. She was a trailblazer. Absolute trailblazer. Icon. Ooh. All right. This may be the shortest stream on record. Barbara Robinson, I used to work for a John Jones. He's a farmer. Really? Barbara Robinson, are you a female? Barbara? I'm assuming it's Barbara. But I don't know. It's a Welsh name? Yeah, I definitely think it's very English. English origins. I don't know if Welsh is English or not, but I'm talking out of my that's complete like culture blindness. So if I'm offending someone, it's not my intention. Bakong, get well soon. Thank you, Bakong. I appreciate that, man. We will be doing our 10K giveaway tomorrow. I'll be back on the stream tomorrow. Rain or shine, sick or not. It may be another short stream. I don't know, but we have this. It's called a flu bomb. We take that. It's just this home remedy tincture that we make and drink it, and it does in our experience really shorten the duration and the severity of whatever flu symptoms you have. We took our first one last night before we went to bed. I'll take another one here this morning and take a couple more shots of it throughout the day. And hopefully tomorrow I'm feeling a lot better, but right now, man, I'm ready to go back to bed. I'll be back tomorrow during the giveaway. What's up, Buffett? Of course you will. Every Friday. It's good to see you, Warren. Thanks for being here, man. Oh, boy. I don't know if you guys have been following up on Twitter, but there has been quite a stirring in the online Twitter trader gods. Patrick Wieland, Raja Banks, ICT, even the Master. They've all been getting into calling each other out to trade the Robbins Cup. This happens every time, every year this time. Every year this time. These traders It started with Raja. Well, it started with ICT telling people that they can't trade unless they can be number one on the Robins Cup. Like they can't even talk to him or reference him or call him out until they're number one on the Robins Cup. And then that turned into Raja Banks putting up $100,000 of his own money, of course, on his own private Dominion market brokerage. So not real money, let's be honest. Even if he said it was his real money, it's not. But he said, ICT, here's a $100,000 account, trade it. You can keep all the money you make off of it. And ICT, laughed at him. And then Patrick Whelan started calling ICT out and begging him to step up. And they got into a little Twitter beef. And then I Am Master, who does the DR Academy. I don't know if you guys follow him or not, but he got into it and started calling Patrick Whelan out as well. So it's just this whole Twitter war on these high clout traders chasing more clout. And they realize that they're just trying to siphon off followers from each other is really all they're trying to do. They have to generate controversy. This is one of the main ways that they grow their following is through controversy, being bold, brash, outlandish, trash talking. This is the way that they grow their brand, and it's brilliant. I mean, it works. They all have hundreds of thousands of followers, if not millions. And in the end, ultimately, it doesn't even matter if they're good traders or not, because they can just monetize. They can monetize their marketing, but it's pretty entertaining to watch. So if you need to be entertained, just go follow those guys and watch them just lob social media grenades at each other. It's very entertaining. Hopefully the Ferguson twins show. Yeah, maybe they will. We'll see what kind of drama we get tomorrow on the live stream. You know what I didn't do that would make me feel better is lighting up this teakwood and oak candle from the Leo Ben Candle Company, because it is not only does it smell good, but it is also a cure for the common cold. I don't know if you know that or not, but lighting and sitting underneath the teakwood and oak candle from the Leo Ben Candle Company will cure your cold. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to light this up right now, and I'm going to feel better by the end of the day today. Still no emails from the Leo Ben Candle Company wanting to be another partner on the stream along with Bespoke Funding, which, by the way, I haven't said yet, but Bespoke Funding and the Leo Ben Candle Company, two of the best things that you can have in your life. Man, it smells good. I'm surprised I can. Another reason I know it's not COVID, I can still smell, and that smells really good. I want to collect every dollar. Cammy Capital could whip all their asses. Maybe he could. Cammy's a decent trader too. All right, what do we need to do here? Am I done today? I think I might be. I'm going to be waiting for Bitcoin to run these highs, and then I'm going to be looking to sell the crap out of it. Oh, boy. Guys, I don't think I have much more in me. There's not much more to do. You have news in 1 hour. So, don't do anything else. Just wait until this news hits for any dollar pairs. There's no reason to jump into a trade here at the beginning of the New York session when you have euro dollar news coming up in 45 minutes. You've got dollar news coming up right behind that. 15 minutes later. So just let all of these news events clear out, watch where they run liquidity, and then see if you get displacement away from that. Okay. I'm going to call it a stream here. I'm going to go get back in bed and put the heating pad on and take my flu bomb shot, and hopefully we'll feel better. I'll post on Discord and Twitter if anything comes up. I'm supposed to be doing a Twitter Spaces with some of the guys from Bespoke Funding and FX Connect later this afternoon, my time. So if you're on Twitter and you want to jump in with that, I think that's happening around 2 p.m. New York time or 3 p.m. New York time. I'm not sure. It's later my time. It's later in the afternoon. I don't know. So if you're on Twitter and you follow around, I think I'll be doing a Twitter Spaces with some of those guys. I should be well enough at that point to talk for a good 15, 20 minutes at least by then. So, but you guys stay safe. Don't just look for a reason to take a trade today. Make sure your setups are there. Make sure all of your rules are checked off. Make sure every criteria is met. Okay. There's no reason to force a trade. Just wait. It will come to you. Market's not going anywhere, all right? All right, guys. Happy hunting. Stay safe. And we'll catch you tomorrow on the live stream. Adios, guys.